Episode 10, Hoppothetically. Move your God, move it now. Why don't you move your face out of the way before we start?
What do you mean?
I can tell you're looking at yourself.
No, you can't.
Yes, every time I can.
Yeah, I know.
You're just staring at yourself in the periphery, why is that even fun?
No, I'm not staring at myself. I'm just looking at the camera right now, like directly at it.
But your face is still up there.
Yeah, I mean, it's there.
Why?
It's like a problem? Why? Because I like looking at myself. It's like half the reason I do the podcast.
This is the intro to every single episode.
Do you want to go first on the questions?
My first question, who would win in a fight? Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender or Santa from childhood? And any iteration of Santa you've seen in movies or literature.
What weight class is Santa in?
He's pretty big.
Like, give me like 300 pounds?
Yeah, let's say Santa's 300 pounds.
Do they get...
Aang is 120.
Maybe. I think it's like probably like barely 110.
As if that is like going to be the difference.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Do they get to use, like, does he get to use his...
They get everything in their toolkit. So Santa has the reindeer, the sleigh, the elves. Aang has Appa.
Doesn't feel fair at all. It feels like Santa gets a lot more shit. He just gets to bring a bag of shit.
Fine, Santa doesn't have the elves because then Aang would get the Aang gang.
Even still, I think like if a UFC fighter came in with a bag of stuff, I feel like it would not be.
So you think Santa because of the bag of presents?
Yeah, I think he says Legos. What other, is it all child toys or can he?
There's that one Christmas movie where the kid asked for a gun, so he might have a gun.
I think if he has a bag of guns and ammunition.
And
he was just like,
stuff
this
too.
is what the kids... Yeah, I mean, he has to bring a few toys to like throw off the rafts, but I think he could just bring a few guns.
He's just like a mile or like, a quarter mile up, just circling in the reindeer with like a sniper rifle.
Yeah, I don't think he should get any of that shit. But I guess if Aang can airbend, I still think a gun... I mean,
Aang has Appa and the Avatar state and can bend every element. This is child Aang, but as powerful as he is at the end of the series.
As great as Aang was, I think a gun just wholesale beats Aang in almost every fight.
Yeah, because Aang never learns metal bending or lightning bending.
Also, he's not from present day, so he doesn't know what a gun is.
That can be one of the stipulations. Someone sits Aang down and explains gun.
There's a long conversation about gun rights with Aang, and then afterwards, like, oh yeah, now I'll do the fight now.
Like, yeah, they explain what a gun is, and Aang's like, how is that legal? And he's like, okay, here we go. Yeah. Well, 1776. Do you think the fight would be mostly a ranged fight, or could Aang get in?
No, I think a sniper rifle kind of.
But I don't think Santa's like skilled. I mean, he just is a toy maker. He's not a marksman.
I mean, even with, I've like only shot like 2 guns in my life, and I think I could figure it out fast enough to just hit him.
I think it's really hard. Aang would be a moving target. He's on. You could probably hit Appa, which wouldn't win the fight. It would just be sad. If this was a judged event, you'd probably lose some points. People would be like, oh.
No. That counts as like a closer to a win, right?
I think Appa would take the reindeer fairly easily.
It depends on what iteration of Santa Claus you're talking about.
Or some Santa Clauses have more powerful reindeer.
Yeah, I think he has. I think there are some that are like these beastly monsters and some that are like kind of doe-eyed deer. I don't know. I think Santa could do it. I mean, I think Santa has more murders already under his belt than Aang.
Name one murder Santa has.
He has the grandma from Grandma.
She doesn't die. She just gets in a coma.
Dude, she gets mowed down by reindeer and he's flying. So he had to... For that to have occurred, he would have had to go down, hit her, and then come back up. It's like a car swerving onto the sidewalk to get the hit. Even if it's not a full kill, I think it's closer to a kill than what Aang has. And
it wasn't a kill. No, it wasn't even at all a kill. It was a
maiming, an intentional maiming, which is much closer than Aang, who has a weird moral stance against murder. Santa has just a bag of shit, which he can use, and it's really arbitrary. Like, does he have to show a person who asked for it to count as a gift, or can he just bring wrapped?
No, weapons? I think after the fight, the judges check all of the letters against all of the things Santa used. And if the kids were naughty or nice, because he can't use, obviously all the naughty kids are asking for like fucked up stuff. So he can't use those.
You don't think one nice kid asked for an AR-15?
A lot of heroes ask for AR-15s.
Okay, so he gets an AR-15.
A good guy. For every bad guy with a gun, there is a good guy with a gun. That's what I think.
Sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think the only downside is he has to unwrap the gift and then I guess rewrap it after.
That is true. He has to. I don't think he has to rewrap, but he definitely has to unwrap and then say thank you. He has to be surprised. Oh, that's thank you.
God. He has to write like a thank you letter to the...
That was the rule in our cousin's house. You can't use it till you write the thank you note. So that would really weaken Santa.
I mean, it depends on how sloppy the thank... If it can just be like, thanks, bro, and then just sign off. I mean, I still think even with all those percussion.
No, I think he has to get it in the card, like the envelope.
Out.
I think once you get close range, Aang has a huge advantage. Depending on some Santas, for some reason, have like a really sad backstory. Like in the most recent Klaus movie, Santa's like wife died. So I feel like that Santa would.
And if Aang kills Santa, does Aang become Santa? Like in the Tim Dillon movies?
Yeah, Tim Allen. The Tim Dillon as Santa.
I think Tim Dillon would be a fun Santa. I don't think everyone would be a fan, but I'd be much more interested in what my presents would be.
It would just be him telling you there's like 3 years left of America.
I think Santa would win.
No, Aang would use his spirit bending to take away Santa Claus's Santa Clausness. He wouldn't just kill Santa. He would wipe the spirit
joy
of Santa.
From his soul.
Yeah, he would remove Santa Claus's like essence with that lion turtle thing, and there would be no Santa in the world anymore. Like it wouldn't even exist.
He just does that, and Santa's beard goes like gray. Just gets really sad.
Yeah, every single person would forget Christmas, like they would just lose it. We'd all become Jewish.
Wait. So killing Appa with a sniper rifle, that gets points off of the judges, permanently ending Christmas for everyone.
Like literally, yeah, he would remove the spirit of Christmas from the world with his lion turtle abilities.
Oh, are we doing Polar Express rules where his whole sleigh, you can't hear it unless it's like you like believe in Christmas or whatever?
Oh, that'd be interesting. Santa has like invisibility.
It's just like and dead
just getting drilled by. He's like, where is this coming from?
And then he accepts Jesus into his heart and fucking murders Santa Claus.
I think they are making a spin-off of Avatar: The Last Airbender, and I think they should start with this premise. It's Aang has just killed Santa Claus and is slowly becoming Santa Claus, but he has to defeat the Fire Lord still before the comet comes and before he is fully Santa Claus.
And he has to get Mrs. Claus, because that's in the Santa Claus clause, that he has to get another. For some reason in that movie, the Tim Allen one, there's it's a long, lengthy, confusing contract. Santa's more of a complex like a convoluted contractor.
So he has to get a Mrs. Claus. He has to.
It's also like it's in the contract. It's called the first one is if you like kill Santa for some reason, if you win in a duel or he dies in front of you, there's a Santa like clause, not spelled like clause, but clause. And that one you have to become Santa. And then in the Mrs. Claus, it's another clause at the end of this contract. You have to have a wife. Dude, I don't know why more people aren't in the Tim Allen one. I don't know why more people aren't trying to duel Santa to the death to become Santa. I would become Santa Claus.
Oh, and I would use it to make money.
Oh, yeah. You can think it's so profitable.
And I wouldn't pay taxes because it'd be located on the North Pole.
You have a lot of weird geopolitical ideas about the poles, though. Because if someone ever took that over, you'd be an independent contractor and you would pay taxes out the ass. So you would have to get your hand in the UN. It'd become a whole mess.
Yeah, but I'd be like, do you believe in my taxes? They'd be like, yeah. Got a question?
Okay. Yeah. Do you think famous people are like, just because of all these leaked famous sex videos, do you think famous people are just like obligated to film themselves having sex because they're so beautiful? They have like a moral obligation to film themselves having sex.
No.
And leak it.
Oh, well, and leak it.
Yeah. Because like I've never had sex and been like, I should show. I go the opposite way. I'm like, I shouldn't show people this. This is disgusting. But for famous people,
like they see it as they've done a good deed or something.
Yeah. Like it would be almost a war crime for them to not.
Yeah. Like if I had something leaked, people would text me like, what the fuck? If Leo DiCaprio has something leaked, people are like, hey, that was cool of you.
Kim Kardashian did it and she became incredibly even more wealthy and famous because people were just like, you did good. This is what society wanted.
Have you noticed that there's like a class of very, very famous actor that's like so famous that they're not even like an age anymore? Like how old is Leo DiCaprio? He's like 35 and 50 somehow. Like I have no idea.
I think that's called makeup.
But he's also like old.
Well, they just stop. He wears less makeup. I think you're describing makeup.
I think it's famous people.
You think if you get that famous, they stop aging you? But
yeah, like there was this woman at work who also had the same thing, and I'd never heard of her before, but she must have been famous.
If you could become famous, would you trade immortality? You get to be immortal looking, but you have to keep releasing sex tapes.
Yes, I think that's literally what being famous is.
Okay, this one's a little complicated. You're a wizard. You get to ask politicians for their body parts, and then you create a superhero. Which politicians do you?
I would probably do Beto O'Rourke's body as it is perfect.
Okay.
Not strong enough to beat Ted Cruz, but, close. And then I would do Nancy Pelosi's head so I could turn people into stone when they looked upon it.
Oh, I would get John McCain's worn, torn knees.
John McCain did have war-torn knees. A lot of his joints were war-torn. It was probably from the war.
One is joints. They're experienced. There's like probably some muscle memory there.
You would get that's true. I guess I would want like one old person's finger so I could like know when it was going to rain, but not have too much pain.
Yeah.
Like a rain pinky.
Mm-hmm. Like a little arthritis, but not a lot of arthritis.
Like, oh, fuck, it's gonna... So you would take John McCain's joints.
I want JFK's penis. I'm really going for things with experience. I think Obama's fun personality. I don't know. People just really seem to like him and his way of speaking. Because I think he could talk people out of.
You're taking a lot of like ethereal qualities from people.
You could take it's like his vocal cords, I guess, and also his brain. I guess I want my guy to be Obama. Brain, vocal cords.
It sounds like all you've done is you've made Obama have bad joints.
I want him to have arthritis, and I have however big JFK's penis was.
You think JFK's penis was bigger than Obama's?
No, I just think it was more like it's like a classic. It's like an old Ford. And then I would not. This isn't a body part, but I'd take that one guy's eye patch because that's pretty cool. That Republican dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would take his eye patch because I think it looks sick.
So you're really just maiming Obama. You take away his vision, his ability to walk well.
His eyes are still there.
You give him a white guy's penis. Yeah, my Nancy Pelosi's head on Beto O'Rourke's body. First of all, I would be super in shape, and he would gain all of this insider trading knowledge.
Go to the stock market immediately, doesn't even really fight crime. Yeah. At least mine would just try to drone strike people.
Boy, we are really up on stuff. That's what I think people are going to think when they hear this. They're going to be like, damn, those guys are up on stuff.
I think mine could beat yours in a fight, though.
No, yours would be just in pain.
Yeah, but its voice, when it moaned in agony, its voice would be so soothing, but also kind of slow. Like you're unsure if he's actually in pain or not because he's not saying it. He's not getting it out quickly. Like he has the time to pause. Is he really even moaning that bad?
Nancy Pelosi is a Gorgon. She would turn you to stone.
I've only seen her in photos, and I don't know anyone that has survived seeing her in person.
Neither do I.
I don't think it exists.
Remember when that reporter asked her about the insider trading and she had a terrible answer? Why didn't he ask her a follow-up? Because he was turned to stone.
You think that would come out in the news?
It's the liberal media. They won't admit that everyone's turning to stone. They're just like, no, that's what they were like before. They would market a COVID death. That's long COVID. God, this is too it's like we're just saying every single political thing we've ever heard of just to desperately keep this conversation going.
It's going a little right wing, and I don't love it.
And Iraq.
Do you think it's worse? Do you think a person's more pathetic for having an aggressive drinking problem, or like if they really understand how to microwave a Hot Pocket? Like they've done it so many times, they're an expert at making, I guess not just Hot Pockets, but microwave food. I'm going with Hot Pocket guy.
I think you're overestimating how good at microwaving stuff you can get. There's like the bowl trick where you raise something above something else to microwave more. There's putting a wet napkin in there.
Shut up. This is the equivalent of you who doesn't understand how to properly use a microwave. There could be other levels to it. You don't even know. Do you think you're like anywhere close to an expert? You know what they say about knowledge? The more you know, the less you think you know.
There's not putting forks in there.
Yeah, there is. But these are like basics.
No, I don't think there is an advanced.
No, there has to be some higher level of, like you could take it out and then put it back in.
Yeah, that's a move.
Yeah, but there's tons of moves you haven't even conceived of. You're not, like, do you even microwave stuff?
Microwaving is like, if cooking with an oven is like the chess of cooking, microwaving is like the tic-tac-toe, where you just do it and it ends up a tie no matter what.
Dude, I beat someone at tic-tac-toe recently, and I looked at them like they were an idiot.
That's humiliating.
I think I even said, yeah, that's really pathetic, man. It was our sister. I beat her easily too. I did it in like 2 moves, and I was just like shocked.
Did you just not see?
No. I did the thing where you make the L, like every other one L, and she didn't block it. And then I went, okay, well, I win now because I have 3 ways to do it, and you can't block all 3 in time.
I think it should just be a general standing bet that if you challenge someone to tic-tac-toe and they lose, they owe you $1 million. Just for anyone to know. Because you should never, if you lose at tic-tac-toe, you should be an indentured servant.
When I was little, I didn't get how to do it. It took me like 50 games to figure out how to cat's game every time. It took like forever.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's called cat's game.
What did you think it was called?
Tie.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes more sense than cat's game.
I was trying to think of like maybe somehow relating to the musical Cats, but I think tic-tac-toe may be much older than the musical Cats. So which do you think is more depressing? I had one of my old roommates used to be really good at cooking pizza in the microwave and had every time down for every slice in which setting to use. And I was like,
I think if somebody was into microwave food enough where they started like recommending things, I would
recommended.
I would sit them down after a couple. They'd be like, have you tried these like Tostito crunch? I'd be like, all right, let's
talk about it.
What are you doing this weekend?
I pulled out 2 slices of pizza and they were like, you need this time on this setting and then take it out and flip it and do this. Yeah. And he had like a few steps. It's like, that's how you get it perfect. I was just like, you've had to have done this. There's no way each of those steps was and there was probably other trial and error involved.
And they're just going, when they say perfect, they mean like a 4 out of 10. Like they're just hitting that perfect 4.
Yeah. It's like the best reheated Domino's could physically get. And that's a pretty low bar. I do think the alcoholic is, because at least you're like, they're fun. Like they have a.
Do you think with the microwave guy, you get to a point where you start leaving the middle cold and doing weird stuff just because you've advanced past perfect? You're like avant-garde microwave guy now. You're like, this is my take on microwaving. You're like, it's freezing. You're like, yes.
They just put the food back in like in the freezer or something. They don't even use. I've ascended past microwaves or even warm food.
Hey, your microwave's not even on. That's true.
I mean, I knew a guy that liked frozen bread. He liked to put his bread in the freezer.
Is he okay? What's up with him these days?
He's the same microwave guy. They're the same person. I think he put it in the microwave after he froze it. That's to get it to the perfect.
I guess you have to.
Yeah, I mean it's frozen bread. I don't even know why you
gotta do something. I have a question. So you're a vampire. Mm-hmm. You have to suck or absorb something from people other than blood, but you can pick the thing. What do you pick? It doesn't have to be cum, but it can. I was anticipating your first question.
Because I'm like, that would just make you a gay vampire.
No, there can just be a regular gay vampire. You could be a straight cum-sucking vampire. A miserable eternity.
You would have to, but if you were a straight gay vampire, you would have to you'd be like, I'm not into this, but like I need to. I'm like starving. I need to suck the cum out of your.
I literally said it didn't have to be.
And can I suck it out from anywhere? Or if I did cum, for instance, would I have to bite the penis?
You can suck it out from anywhere, but you'd be such an ass if you sucked cum out of someone's neck. You'd be like, so you pulled that from my balls all the way up through my body. You pulled cum?
If it was cum, would they even need teeth? Or could they just, earn it?
I don't know.
Because you're just describing a gay dude. Like
I'm not. I'm literally not.
Okay.
He's not gay. You're not necessarily gay. There's no correlation there. A straight vampire
that sucks dick for sustenance.
Right. But anyway, it doesn't have to be cum. You said cum.
I said it emphatically. You said cum.
I said it didn't have to be cum. You went straight to cum. As always.
Sweat, I guess.
So you'd have to get people moving. You go up to somebody, call them like a fatty.
No, you just like go to the
This
gym.
guy has been body shaming people for 13,000 years. This fucking Transylvanian dude keeps saying I have man tits and then licks me.
Goes on weird rants about how fat phobia isn't real all the time on like YouTube and stuff.
That's true. I guess you could just go to the gym and lick the seats and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I would work out, and then instead of grabbing one of those towelettes, I'd just like all the way up it,
and then disappear into the night.
No, like that. Someone's gonna walk by, like you still need to wipe that down. You didn't.
And he can only enter people's houses if they invite him, but they never invite him because he keeps licking people's sweat. He doesn't get invited anywhere.
Yeah, it's really weird at the gym, just like, oh god. I think you could do it. I think at least with sweat, you could play it off so that you didn't seem like a vampire,
I still think sweat would be tough. Maybe fingernails?
No, dude, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
You have to eat how
but if you ate fingernails, people would not think you were a vampire. It would be worse. They would think it was worse.
I wouldn't pick blood. I feel like blood's honestly the easiest thing. Water? That one feels.
Well, you said sweat. So what, tears?
No,
just calling them fat again?
Yeah. Tears I don't know. I just think anything but blood is either A, you're gross, like poop or snot.
Whereas blood's not gross? Ooh, snot's a good one.
Snot's not a good one. You don't have that much snot.
Yeah, but people don't mind giving it to you. Like if you ever go up to somebody who's about to blow their nose and you're like, oh no, let me. And you just.
Dude, if I had a friend and I walked in on him and he was eating just like licking tissues clean, I would never talk to that person again. There's no, and it'd be like, dude, you don't even know the full story. It's like, it doesn't matter. I don't care if you're immortal. This isn't like quality over quantity. Like fucking die then.
That is true. If you found out that a snot vampire was immortal, I feel like you wouldn't even care how long they'd lived. You would care how many boogers they've eaten. You'd be like, wait, so that's 5,000 years, and how many boogers a day did you say? 6.
Yeah.
And this was gross. Come on.
I don't know. I just don't. You just ask which bodily fluid would you?
It didn't have to be bodily fluid. It could be skin. Feast on their dandruff.
I feel like they would just skin people alive, which would be way more terrifying than.
I would just become a dermatologist with a secret.
All of your patients have horrible psoriasis.
Hey, where does Nick always go after talking to his patients? Oh, the closet. Don't shut up.
I thought you said I wasn't supposed to itch it. Why are you itching it? Don't worry about it.
Yeah. This is therapeutic.
Yeah, this is just like, it feels great, but I don't think I'm supposed to. It's making my skin kind of rashy. It's like even better. We're getting closer to the solution. We have to scratch our way to the other side. Okay, question. If you were in a cold bath and you wanted to have a warm bath, say you peed in it enough to get the bath warm, how long would you stay in the bath before you got out, poured out, cleaned out all the water, and then showered in disgust? Like 15 minutes?
No.
Up or down? Like, am I closer or colder to the actual answer?
What do you think?
I'm going down, but I'm guessing it's up. This is going to be a terrible part of the podcast where I'm just.
I don't think I'd want to sit in my pee.
You know, but here's the thing. In this question, you're already sitting in the pee. It's just how long are you willing to sit in the pee?
Is it like smelly pee or is it hydrated pee?
It's however your pee is.
Fuck. Well, that's no good. Then like 1 minute.
Just like reeks of like asparagus. Just like, oh.
Yeah, my pee is just coffee. I mean, it's like coffee from work.
Let's say you got pretty well hydrated.
My pee is like if you put a cup up to the fountain drink at McDonald's, and put if you just push my balls in, just black coffee comes out.
Okay, what if it was more like a light yellow?
I don't think I would do that. I don't. Our podcast could be better than this.
That's fair, I guess. It absolutely could be.
So in movies and literature, when a character dies a slow, dramatic death, their thoughts always drift back to their family and loved ones, and they sort of spend this moment with them. Do you think in real life that happens? I think probably, I've just stubbed my toe and I didn't even slightly drift off to thinking about a loved one. I think it would fucking hurt, I think mostly you'd be focused on that you just got stabbed.
I think you have to go farther. I think it's like a light pain relatively. But I think if you tear an ACL maybe. But I think that would fuck up if you're in the middle of a game and you have a torn ACL and you have to try to play through it, if you kept shifting to memories of your family, just as you tried to play the game, you're trying to shoot a 3-pointer and you're like, Grandma, get the fuck out of here.
That would be true if your coach had to train you to stop having such lovely memories during the games.
Or had to play through, you're in an MMA fight and you have to learn how to fight through
all the lovely memories.
Yeah. If you see your grandmother, you need to punch her. You need to throw a right hook.
You need to remember all the
weak jaw. It would change my opinion on torture. I would go from Guantanamo Bay would be seen as my grandma passed 5 years ago and I've been having trouble her not being in my life. So I went to Guantanamo Bay for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
They waterboarded me until I found her again. Dude, have you ever looked up some of the torture methods they did? I found out, and this is true, and you can look it up. It's just all super gay stuff. A bunch of it was just, they made each other suck each other's dicks and shit. It was there's a bunch of the US torture. Some of it is real torture, but then sometimes
I love and then when they would ask those Republicans, they're like, it's not torture. We were just making people uncomfortable. And they're like, wait, so when they sucked each other's dicks, it made me uncomfortable.
I didn't like it at all.
That was gay as shit, man. I don't like that.
They take these Muslim extremists and just make them do incredibly gay acts to one another. That's their whole.
Do you think I could start a terrorist, gay terrorist religion, and then when they capture and torture us, they make us have straight sex with beautiful women, and we're like, no, now we don't get into heaven.
You'd have to feign having not a boner. Or this boner is so begrudging.
It's a sinful boner, that's what I would say.
It would be so just straight conversion therapy?
Yeah, but I would resist.
Everybody in straight conversion therapy resists.
Yeah, but do you think as a straight person going to a straight conversion therapy would be really fun and rewarding? You just go in there and just crush.
No, because I think there are parts where they make you watch a bunch of gay stuff and then like tase you or something to get you to negatively associate it. So I mean, other than
that would be terrible. I would have to first watch the porn, which I didn't want to do anyway.
and
they would tase me.
You're like, I'm really no, it's working really well. I'm not into this at all. And they're like, are you sure? And then they tase you again.
Do you think it could be one of those? I feel like they could go too far where, you know, when somebody smokes, so their parents make them smoke a whole pack of cigarettes and then they're addicted. I feel like they could just go to and then gay me up, you know? Yeah, they made me watch gay porn and they beat the shit out of me, which I loved.
Yeah. I love it so much. Yeah, I guess masochists or no, it's the one that likes getting hurt.
I don't know. It's one of those.
Yeah, one of those. They must just be super into gay conversion therapy.
That'd be funny too. Yeah, if every gay conversion therapy was just people into that, and the instructors were like, I mean, the business is booming, but I feel like our success rate is low. We are getting a lot of return customers. A lot of
like it didn't work. Yeah, I need another go at it.
They keep coming back like I'm almost not gay. Like seriously, just one more round through. I can feel it.
Show me more gay porn and hit me in the balls. Do it. Do you think they'd be upset if they found out you were straight the whole time?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think they'd be strangely betrayed. They'd be like,
like their goal is to make you straight, but that you came there straight. They're like,
they'd be like, well, now I'm embarrassed. I mean, I really opened up to you and I tried to help. And
just like, are you sure you're not gay? To try to convince you so that they can reconvert you back.
There should be what about a superhero or maybe a supervillain origin story? He's a gay conversion therapist and he successfully converts a gay person into straight. And then that guy fucks his wife. Isn't that a good opening? He's like, no, my life's work.
His only power would be changing the sexuality of people, which you probably could do a lot of damage like that. That would be he'd be more of a villain.
Oh, I feel like his power would just be telling people that one story a bunch of times at a bar.
And then crying a lot.
People would go, his main ability would be when people told him they already heard the story, he would not hear it. He would power right on through that. Yeah, my wife. 15 fucking years.
I do my job right one time.
Did you notice with this podcast, like we sort of strayed into other territory and it was slow and awkward. And then we got back into our comfort zone, which was like cum and gay and poop. We're like firing on all cylinders again.
It's not like we're not attacking gay. I think we've been more attacking gay conversion therapy, which we have never talked about before. So I think we're fine. I think it's a different topic.
I think we might just be gross.
Okay, what if I switched it to a poop question? Would that?
Yeah, that would be a nice palate cleanser.
Okay. If you ran out of toilet paper,
we're really playing the hits today.
Yeah, I'm not excited if my work ever watches any of this. If you ran out of toilet paper, would you ever consider using the other side of the toilet paper?
No. What, like I fish it out of the water and
no. One side, flip it, and then just use the other side.
I mean, no. I certainly get more strategic as I see the toilet paper winding down.
Yeah.
But no.
You never get to the last little bit where you're like,
where I do feel like that happens is with laundry. Like right after you do laundry, I'm so cavalier. Like I'll just touch a sock and I'm like, that's dirty. And then I throw it in the laundry thing. But once I have no clothes left, I wear the same pair of boxers. I'd flip it and then I just flip it again. So I'm like, well, I flipped it again. So
now there's shit on your pants and on the inside of your...
Yeah, because I'm like, well, the pants friction is probably cleaning it all off the boxers.
That's disgusting. I didn't know people stood and wiped till I was like an adult.
I sort of like
they're fucking monsters.
I one time went into the bathroom and I saw someone wiping, but their feet were facing the toilet. I was like, you turned around. Why'd you do that? They didn't have an answer, but they should have an answer. If you turn around to wipe, you should have an answer and a note from a doctor.
No. I think the game plan is, if you ever seen those things where people kick down the stall,
like a
the
movie?
Defense. Yeah,
like one of those things.
Yeah, like in a defense mechanism to that. So if all the momentum of you kicking down that stall gets shut down the moment you see a poopy butt.
You know what? I was gonna tell you about how you owed us money, but you know what? I'll get you after you come out. How about that?
Like they had a gun and they just like put the gun down. Just like I'll come back in. Like
we'll talk later.
Minutes. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Seem busy. You're almost out of toilet paper. Almost.
Yeah, I think once you do that, I think it kind of falls apart. So I think it's a defense mechanism. I mean, how realistic is that? Who's to say? But Standing wiping people are fucking disgusting monsters. You should sit. You at best you can get a little lean going.
No, I lean one way or the other because it opens my butt cheeks. I don't want to wipe with closed butt cheeks.
Oh yeah, but you do that dumb like you open your butt cheeks to fart, which is worse than farting.
I open my butt cheeks and my mouth. Every fart I go.
Is it for like the acoustics?
Yeah.
Like how a guitar has an empty.
Yeah, it's like a resonance chamber.
But
all my farts are like, oh.
I don't get, but if you open your cheeks, you're trying to make the fart silent.
With them in my mouth to make it.
You also don't need to use your hands to open your cheeks. You could just go on your pivot cheek and then stretch out and then sit.
But what if
down.
I'm standing to like shake someone's hand for a job interview?
Then you can go in for
and
a
then
kneel.
I have to stop and be like,
go in for a kneel as if to tie your shoe. You kind of open it up a little bit.
There
are tons of ways to get around this without you doing what you currently do, which is grabbing both cheeks.
I wear laceless Merrills. You know that. I can't pretend to tie my shoe. I have no laces. So the only option is for me to grab my cheeks, spread them, and go. And it lets out like a psst. It's like the fart's like, psst, hey, guess what? And you're like, what? And the fart's like, bad smells. You're like, ah. That's always the secret.
Whenever I see you do it, I always think you're pooping a little bit.
Sometimes I am. Sometimes I am.
Okay.
God, our podcast is gross.
Would you take, Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh? Small boy becomes...
Oh, Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, I was thinking
Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! If you don't know,
I was thinking from Succession.
There's a character named Yugi in Succession.
No, there's only a character named Yugi in Yu-Gi-Oh! I was making fun of you.
Well, I just want people to know where it's from. It's the child's card game that everyone plays to death for some reason. No. Would you take the ability when you were playing cards to mature, like to go through a second puberty?
That'd be so fun. Every time you play Pinochle, you get like 8 inches taller and you have a deep voice and you're like a little better at Pinochle, but not that much better.
Yeah, you're only moderately. Honestly, you could say you don't really get better as much as you get.
You just get taller and you start saying all this cryptic stuff.
And if a lady had it, she would also go through adult male puberty too. So she'd get kind of hairy and kind of bulky.
Yeah.
And then when she finished playing, would you take that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Every time grandma plays me, I'm like, you can't defeat me, grandpa. And then I send her to the chef. And then I mind crush her. Remember that episode where Yugi mind crushes that guy?
Is that just...
It's like early on, the guy's like beating him in a card game, so Yugi just makes him retarded. He's just like mind crush, and the guy's like, oh, just like has to go to a hospital, I guess, like a psychiatric ward, because his mind has been crushed.
Do you think when he goes to bars, he has to ask someone to play a card game before he can like buy a drink? He just goes.
The bouncer's like, no, and he's like, you'll see.
My card. You'll see. Pulls out a dual disc. It's like, no, now you're really not getting it.
Well, do you do? Yeah. What are you, 12? Well, if you would just duel me.
I've become 19 with a deeper voice.
All right, here's a dumb one. So Yugi challenges someone to a duel, but lo and behold, he challenges an 18th century gentleman. So Yugi pulls out his 5 cards. The other guy pulls out a pistol at 10 paces. Yugi's picking his first card. He's like, I play, and then just hole in the card.
No question. This is more of just an idea you have.
Oh, what's the question? How about that?
It's pretty. I think that's as weird as Kaiba, that one dude with the weird special eye.
That's Pegasus.
Yeah, Pegasus or whatever. He cuts out his eye, like scalps it out, puts in a fake eye just to be better at
for like a slight edge.
So that he can cheat in children's cards.
I think he can also look at titties. They don't really talk about that as much in the show.
I think that would change the tournament for everybody.
Because Pegasus is a flamboyant gay man, but I think he could, if he wanted to, look at titties. He'd be like, Yugi boy. Did you see those titties?
But more observationally. Like,
yeah, he would just be like, and Yugi's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, I saw him do with my powers.
Well, he can just go through puberty and make people retarded. Those are the only 2 abilities he has, which I feel like he didn't use the mind crush thing more. But now that I think about it, going through puberty is not that. You have all these lines all over it, like all these stretch marks. And
I feel like the end of Yu-Gi-Oh should just be people like arrest, like the FBI comes and Yugi's like, oh, you heard I was the best duelist in the world and you need someone to duel some sort of terrorist mastermind. And they're like, no, man, you mind crush that guy. You're going to jail.
No, it's okay. In the next spin-off Yu-Gi-Oh show, for all the big old Yu-Gi-Oh fans out there, they go to a prison where these all jacked guys are playing Yu-Gi-Oh to decide who's like the top dog.
I remember that. It was an allegory for rape. Nathan, come on. Let's clean this up a bit.
Okay.
Warren Buffett. Let's talk about that.
He looks weird.
That's all we have to say. I don't even know what he looks like. He's a rich man.
He's old. And they did a bunch of, I actually do know a lot about Warren Buffett, but it's uninteresting financial stuff.
This is a boring way to end the podcast. Give me one more question.
If you were given a baby hand, what would you do with it? Like one of your hands became a baby hand and you can't jerk off like in Dead.
I would put it in my mouth.
Why would you put it in your mouth?
Because it fits.
You would just put your
I would amaze people. Yeah. First I would just walk in the room with my fist in my mouth and they go, how are you doing that? That's crazy. You have your whole hand in your mouth. Then I would pull it out for the second reveal, baby hand. I mean, I would be the king.
I think if I saw someone with a baby hand, I would immediately assume they're a sexual predator.
Why?
Because they have a baby hand. They have a hand. They're going to trick children. They're going to see a little hand and be like, come over here. Like, oh, that's
just behind a door. No, this way.
And people are going to come in.
Wait, why is this baby hand 6 feet in the air? How did the baby get that high?
I'm on a stool.
Ooh, a floating baby. Yeah, I'm on a stool. I have one for you too. We can play on the stool. Gotcha, I'm a man.
It's kind of like how there's a fish with the light coming out of there. It's a small trick to convince people, small children.
If there's one thing babies love, it's the hand of other babies. I don't know if that's true or not true.
Or blind children. They could touch their face or whatever, like, oh, it's another baby, and then boom, you got him.
That's our ending? Boom, you got him?
Yeah, I think it's good.
The sexual predator with a baby hand wins.
This time.
Is this even is this like a part one of some other?
Yeah, this is like Infinity War. 5 years later, and you get him.
That would have been a higher stakes Infinity War. If instead of everybody gets turned to dust, just a sexual predator escapes. It just ends. We're like, oh God, I hope they make another one. Oh, damn it, Nathan.
What?
This podcast is so lowbrow. I want better for us. I really do.
We'll get there. We gotta work back up.
I think we're going in the wrong direction. All right. Episode 10, everybody. Thanks